talks a lot about thinking outside the box, organizing the project, the process, and the people, and get to the root cause of the problem. What I found in this book that really helps me a lot is a story about a little vignette about when he is studying with his teacher Pan, who is a fanatical, phenomenal martial artist. He's world-renowned, he's done movies, he's just a phenomenal man, but he has no idea of what the limits are. So after 2 hours or so of the morning practice came to an end. Pan reminded them, his students, he was watching his athletes, Mark Salzman was watching Pan teach his athletes. And so Pan reminded them to be on time for afternoon practice and seemed about ready to dismiss them when a smile came over his face. He pointed at me. "Please, welcome our American friend." The athletes burst into applause, smiling with that energy. The athletes burst into applause, smiling with whatever energy they had left. He has practiced wushu, which is the style of martial arts, for 9 years. Don't you think he should do something for us? Now, these are athletes that are competing at a national level. They are the creme de la creme. The applause turned to cheers of delight. I felt all the blood drain from my face, and I thought I would faint if I stood up. As soon as I could speak, I refused. But this only brought louder cheering. Dr. Nee, who was Pan, the master's friend, said, Dr. Nee, ever the friend in need, announced that I was just being modest and that I was as strong as a lion and as fast as a swooping pigeon, or something like that, and began to pull me from the bench. I looked at Pan. He was smiling at me the way a wolf might smile at a lame deer. Then the blood rushed back into my... Anybody ever experienced this in corporate politics? Then the blood rushed back into my face, and I nearly saw double with anger. Humiliating unwitting foreigners is something of a sport in China, and it occurred to me that my little spectacle would soon be legendary. But he had me. If I accepted, I would go down in local history as the foreigner who made a fool of himself. If I refused, I would be remembered as the foreigner who left Hunan's sports unit with his tail between his legs. So he's in a bit of a predicament, right? I stood up and the applause died down. Pan sat down, continuing to smile. I explained that my wushu couldn't be compared to theirs, and added, truthfully, that I had never imagined I would see such expertise as they possessed. I then said that for me to perform a Chinese routine would be a waste of their time, since they did wushu so much better than I. Better for me to do something they might not otherwise have a chance to see. I told them that in America, fighters have been exposed to a variety of Asian martial arts, Western boxing, and African dance rhythms. Making it up as fast as I could, I explained that a distinctly American style has come out of all of this, and it's called on-the-street boxing. I started clapping out a syncopated beat, began moving in a modified hustle, and then let loose, trying to make up for what I lacked in gymnastic skill with unrestrained violence. At that time, I was not in good condition, so after a few minutes, when I started to taste blood in my throat, I stopped. The athletes exploded into cheers, and Dr. Nee slapped Pan's shoulder in excitement. Does that resonate for anyone as a project manager? I mean, for me, sometimes I have to do things like this, for example, that are out of the box for me. They're kind of scary for me. But you have to rely on yourself, and sometimes you make it up as you go along. It's not that you don't have the science, it's not that you don't have the art, but maybe you don't know necessarily what exactly this project material is, but you know how to execute the project. So with your subject matter experts and your abilities, you're going to execute on this project. And believing in ourselves, believing in our skills, being prepared with the science, I think that's what we all need to do when we're working on complicated projects. And I know that that's what I rely on my project managers to do. And when we talk and we debrief every 2 or 3 weeks, we talk about issues that come up, and we talk about creative ways of getting around some of the obstacles that are coming their way. So I think with your project, with your subject matter experts and your own personal and science skills of project management, it's very, very doable to get even the conflicting and the challenging jobs done. I hope some of these passages are resonating for some of you and creating visuals